high-profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
At all?
At all.
You can't give me any insight into why she departed?
No hints, no nothing. I'm not going to speak to this.
Can I ask why?
I mean, you can ask.
No, I'm not. Can I ask why you don't want to say anything?
Again, you can ask.
All right, folks. So obviously the Daily Wire Candace Owens drama, or I guess you could say fallout, is still going on. There is still a lot being discussed, a lot that's happening. And today specifically, I want to react to this one clip everyone's talking about of Ben Shapiro on the Piers Morgan show, where Piers Morgan asks him very specifically, hey, we were just talking about Israel. You know that the Candace Owens situation. Do you have anything to say about it? And Ben's response was very interesting, and a lot of people are putting their eyes on it, specifically because he gave exactly no response, right? He said he was not going to comment on it. And I'll be honest, 24 hours ago, I had a different initial reaction to it than I do now that I've, I guess, thought a little bit more about it and seen the impacts that this has all had on the movement. And we will talk about all of that in today's video. But first, let's just get right into this. I will show you and play for you exactly what happened here that everyone is talking about.
Of this war has been a lot of very high passions on both sides, a lot of angry disagreements. You and your company have been at the center of a very high-profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
At all?
At all.
You can't give me any insight into why she departed?
No hints, no nothing. I'm not going to speak to this.
Can I ask why?
I mean, you can ask.
No, I'm not. Can I ask why you don't want to say anything?
Again, you can ask.
I'm only curious because I know what a...
So as you can see, very tellingly, he is just refusing to make any comment on it. Okay.
A staunch defender of free speech you are. And it would surprise me if it had been someone's opinions that would make you want to part company with them, however contentious.
I mean, suffice it to say, the only thing I will say is what I've said all along with regard to Candace or with regard to any of our other hosts. I am not in hiring and firing position with the Daily Wire. I'm a co-founder of the Daily Wire. I'm a co-owner of the Daily Wire. I'm not actually in management. Jeremy Boering and Caleb Robinson are in management positions with regard to Candace or anyone else. And as far as the free speech situation, what I will say is that no company has the obligation to literally pay anyone. The Daily Wire is a publisher. It is not a platform. I've never called for Candace or anyone else for that matter to be banned from YouTube, to be banned from X, to be banned from any platform. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any publisher. Any publisher gets to make decisions about what it wishes to purvey and not.
I mean, I'm just not going to labor this, but one more point I would make is it's been reported extensively that the reason for her departure was because her comments have been perceived by people at the Daily Wire as anti-Semitic.
Again, I'm not going to comment on this, Piers.
Okay. Rabbi Shmuley, would you...
Right, so you got that, you heard that. Ben, basically, he won't say anything about it, okay? It's like, hey, none of your business, more or less. Now, I said earlier in the beginning of this video, I had a different initial reaction to the reaction I have now that I guess I've thought about it a little more. And I'll delve into that straight up, okay? I'll give my take. It might be a hot take with some people, but I think it's actually, I don't know, at least in my mind, it feels like the most mature opinion I can have on the situation, which is this. Okay, so 24 hours ago, when I first saw that, I was thinking to myself, oh, come on, Ben. Like, this is what we're going to do now. Give us something, right? It was the bloodthirsty sort of primal instinct in me to want to hear drama and want to hear people do stuff. And then that way we could talk about it and be like, hey, here's what happened, you know. But I guess the more I thought about it, the more I think to myself, this is actually sort of an acceptable response from Ben Shapiro. And I'll tell you why, okay? I know people are getting mad at me for saying that, and I know that most of our audience sides probably more so with Candace Owens. In fact, I think I've pulled that in the past, and I get that. But the reason I say that is this, is I'm watching what's happening right now with all this drama. And by the way, this is not the only drama that's going on in the conservative media sphere right now, because you also have the Steven Crowder thing, which we may bring up a little bit later here. But I look at this, and I say that we have a media sphere here that is totally embroiled in tabloid style drama. And this is not the time for it at all, because this is April 2024. Think about this for a second, okay? And this is why I say, regardless of what you think of what actually happened, I think it's fine, in my opinion, for Ben Shapiro to just not want to fan the flames of any of it, because big picture, when you think about where we are in the timeline right now, we are about almost 7 months, basically 7 months away from November 2024, 7 months away from the November election. And when you consider the RNC, the DNC, the presidential debates, we are even closer than that. And what's going on in the conservative media sphere right now? Are we doing our best to make sure that 2020 doesn't get repeated, or are we focused on the drama? And don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not ignorant to this. I understand that, especially in the situation with Daily Wire versus Candace, yes, the Israel stuff is something that needs to be litigated. It's a legitimate debate that needs to be had in the conservative movement, and I'm all for that, right? I understand that totally. But at the same time, is what is ultimately a professional dispute, let's really break it down, a professional dispute between Candace Owens and the Daily Wire, the most important thing necessarily in the country right now? That I would say it's not, but it's what everyone's obsessed with, right? It's what everyone is focused on, okay? Is the civil war between the conservative media space, and it's entertaining. I get that. I find drama just as entertaining as the next person. But when you really think about it, big picture, long term, the left is laughing at this right now. Okay, the Democrats are laughing at this right now. Whether it's, Ben Shapiro versus Candace Owens, or Andrew Klavan versus Candace Owens, or Steven Crowder versus his ex-producer and his ex-wife. It's all kind of, in many ways, a circus that just, frankly, again, we are not serious at a time where we need to be serious, okay? If this was this same time last year, off year, there's no major elections, we got a little bit of time, we're kind of bored, then I would say that more or less, okay, I get it. But we, again, folks, are headed into the most important election cycle of our lifetime, and we are just not focused, okay? That's the thing about all of this. And that's why, I did this video to sort of play into it, but I think that's going to be my greater message from all of this is we do not have time for the drama right now. And frankly, I'll talk about stuff when it's relevant, but I don't know how much I really want to play into all of this drama. Because what is it contributing that's, again, focused on the goal here? I look at the situation. I see Candace Owens on one side. I don't think she's anti-Semitic. In fact, I think she made a lot of important points about, some of that Israel stuff and America First and all of that. But even if you are on the other side of Candace Owens, even if you're totally, team Zionism here or whatever, but you're relatively right-wing or you're kind of more a Republican, okay, you may not like Candace Owens in this drama, but is she the most important enemy to your cause right now or to the country right now? No, I would say that's probably not true, right? And then on the other side, think about this from the, I guess, America First perspective or whatever you want to say. If you're more team Candace Owens, that's fine, right? And if you, after the situation, you're not a fan of Candace, you're not a fan of the Daily Wire, that all makes sense. But are you going to look at, say, Ben Shapiro, who, by the way, I believe this week is fundraising for Donald Trump, okay, and say that in this current moment, 7 months away from the general election, it is Ben Shapiro who is the biggest enemy to where we are trying to go right now. I would say, you may not like him, but I would not label him like that at all. Okay, so this is, again, all to say, I'm just very concerned watching everything that's happening right now, because it's just not the time for this, okay? This is a sector, for some reason, addicted to the drama, and I get that, because we're all sort of media people. We all have these egos, all about, okay, whatever. But can we get focused? Please, guys? Okay, can we get focused? This is why, by the way, when I talk about this beef, okay, I have sort of my ideas and all of that, but I'm not trying to get super into the weeds of the personal or burn this bridge or throw that person under the bus, because, again, this is not the time for it, okay? Let's get focused. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, but I am just frankly concerned with the state of conservative media right now. This is not the year to all be divided against each other and having all these problems. And hey, you criticized Israel, so you're on this blacklist, or you did the opposite. You're too... just not the time. Okay. With that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hopefully, this is the last time I honestly make a video talking about this specific drama, okay? Because, again, if something huge happens, we'll talk about it. Candace still comes out and does her response, but it's not fun for me. I'll tell you the truth, it's not fun for me. I'd rather talk about politics or stuff that's going on, or at least within this sector, I'd rather talk about legitimate debates between people, where they're actually talking about politics than, why was Candace Owens really fired from the Daily Wire? Did she leave? And frankly, I understand that this is the internet, but let's be real. It's these professional disputes, and I guess the Steven Crowder situation even more so, and I said this at the time that divorce video leaked last year, and people attacked me for it, and then now you're reading some of the new details, and you say, okay, well, maybe there was more to this story. What did I say at the time? I said, frankly, it's really not our business, okay? Like, I don't see why you care so much. It's his business. It's his life. It's a divorce. It's a nasty thing. It should be a private thing. And then what's happening now? People are sort of realizing, hey, maybe it should just be a private matter left to his own business. And wow, why is this all being dragged out to the public spotlight? I don't know. With that said, again, let me know your thoughts. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Alpha Moves Only. God bless. Have a very great rest of your day. And peace.